to my dear lecturer. I'm Vishal Mahendran and I'm going to present about the introduction for educational opportunities for underprivileged students in Malaysia. Education opportunities for underprivileged students are crucial in bridging the gap between socio-economic disparities and academic success. These opportunities aim to provide equitable access to quality of education resources and support system that empowers students from disadvantaged backgrounds to achieve their full potential. By focusing on scholarships, mentorships program, after-school tutoring, and community support, we can help create a more inclusive and fair educational environment where every student has the chance to excel. Many underprivileged students face significant challenges in their educational journeys due to lack of support and resources. These students often encounter barriers such as insufficient access to quality educational materials, limited guidance from mentors, and inadequate financial assistance. As a result, their academic performance and overall potential can be severely impacted. Addressing these gaps is crucial to ensuring that every student, regardless of their socio-economic background, has a fair chance to succeed. Now I'm going to share some of the few points that we could do to improve this problem. The first one is scholarship and financial aid for them. Second one is mentorship and guidance. Third one is after-school programs. Fourth one is access to resources. Fifth one is community engagement. And sixth one is parental and family support. Thank you, and that's all for this one. I'll pass it to the next presenter. Now, each of us are going to give our main take on this whole topic. For my main take is to help these underprivileged students. The main thing is our government. If let's say our government keeps ignoring them, if they don't do anything about them, and then they are just going to be the same and nobody is going to help them. And even we can see that many underprivileged students turn out to be the most smarter ones. So the main thing is our government has to step up and has to help them so that those underprivileged students with all the smart IQ, they can come up in life. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, for my part, I'm going to discuss analysis about the equality of education opportunities, especially for the underprivileged students such as Sabah, Sarawak, and in the rural areas like Orang Asli. So, first of all, I'm going to relate this topic with two education components. The first one is access to resources. When we talk about the resources, we can take the classroom, library, or laboratory. Their facilities are not same as what the city students are own. For example, in the classroom, in the city students, they have aircon, they got slides. Not the slides. They got the projector and other kind of facilities in their classroom. But in the rural area, they don't have a well systematic classroom. They just use the empty place, or they just use the places they available for them to conduct the class. And the second one is the library. In the city area, the students can use their own institutional library or other public libraries to search the informations that they want. But for the underprivileged students, it's not like that. They need to go everything for manually. It's not easy for them to get one information, especially according to their syllabus. And same the thing apply for the laboratory. For mostly for the chemistry, science, physics, they need to go to the laboratory to understand the subjects or the theory more effectively when they conduct a experiment. But in the rural area, they don't have that kind of facilities. They just read the theory, but in practical, it's very hard for them to conduct a experiment without any kind of proper safety and equipments. And the second thing is technology. In the city students, we have a lot of technology. For example, this meeting also conduct in the Zoom. We have Zoom, we have the Google Meet, and other resources just like laptop, internet. um, can be using a multiple applications to make our work more easier. But for the underprivileged students, they don't have that kind of technology facilities to finish or conduct their education. And the third one is qualified teachers. Most of the teachers as a future educators, I don't know how many of us are really ready to teach the underprivileged students because of the infrastructure, the technology, and even in the finance base. So a lot of teachers are not ready to go to the rural area and teach the underprivileged students. So that also a lack of education for the underprivileged students because of don't have enough qualified teachers. Even the teachers they have also not 100% certified from the government. The someone who a little bit have more knowledge among their tribal become a teacher and teach the students about something. For an example, in the mathematics, they just learn the basic additional, summation, divided, and other kind of basic things. But in the city areas, the students become learning more detailed things. So the second component is curriculum content. So when we talk about the curriculum content, I want to include the inclusivity and representative. So these underprivileged students should be give more attention, just like how the city students get. So they have the rural area childrens. They have their own culture. They have their own identity to carry in front, just like others. And one more thing. We need to break the myth that rural area students are uneducated. There's no such thing like that. All the facilities, all the opportunities need to be more balanced and more equal for every single one of us, every single one, including the rural area students also. So there is no uneducated people. Rural area people are uneducated. There is no such thing. So we need to break that myth and carry everything in under equal opportunity for education. That is from me, and I pass it to the next presenter. Okay, so in my point of view, I also agree with Vishan's point of view. It's almost similar. Um, the hidden talents and I believe that personally in the rural areas, especially in the Sabah Sarawakians have more talent and they have their own specialty that can do something for the society. So the most important thing is don't make their situation uh, as their fault to become successful. So everyone need to do something to make them better. So we don't want some of us need to be what some of us become isolated or separated even by our government or our society. So we as a nation, we need to bring everyone and equally, we need to treat everyone equally to make a better future. So for the underprivileged students need to get better um, offers from the government, need a better teachers, need a better technology and everything. So that's it.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fasilia, and today I'm going to present my point. So the topic I'm talking about is the analyzing the for government's effort for quality of education opportunities for Sabah and Sarawak underprivileged students. Um, so the topic I'm talking about is the analyzing for the government's effort to promote equality in educational opportunities for underprivileged students in Sabah and Sarawak. So these two regions in Malaysia known for their unique geographical and socio-economic challenges requires a focused look at several key areas. So the first main point that we are going to discuss about is the infrastructure and accessibility. So when we talk about the accessibility, we are talking about the school availability. We have to analyze the distribution and accessibility of schools in Sabah and Sarawak due to the rural and sometimes isolated nature of these areas, and consider the efforts to build and maintain schools in remote locations. So they are basically out of the um, designated place, which is the city, near the city, and then we have the funding allocation. The transport and facilities. So we have to look into the availability of transport services for students who live in remote areas and whether schools are equipped with adequate facilities to support learning. So we can see that they are not actually have the transport like the cities students have. We have the cars, we have motorcycles, we have also public transport for like LRT, KTM, and one of it, one of the transportation that they have to use is some of it is usually walking, motorcycle, but through rural areas and also boats. So for example, they want to cross the river and so on and so forth. All right. So that is the infrastructure and accessibility. And then we have the educational resource. So we have to focus on the curriculum and teaching materials. And we have to examine if there are differences in the equality of curriculum and teaching materials provided to schools in these regions compared to other parts of Malaysia. And we have to assess the efforts to ensure that the students in Sabah and Sarawak have access to up-to-date and relevant educational resource. And then we have to have the teacher training and recruitment. So basically, we have to evaluate programs aimed at recruiting and training teachers for Sabah and Sarawak, and consider if there are incentives or support system in place to attract and retain qualified educators in these regions. So that is all for my point. I move on to the next presenter. So my own reflection on infrastructure and also the educational resources is first we have the challenges on the geographical barriers. So we focus on the remote and rural areas for Sabah and Sarawak, right? This is the main point where we need to focus on the construction and maintenance of their educational infrastructure. So the schools in remote areas might face issues such as inadequate facilities and insufficient classrooms and limited access to essential utilities like electricity and clean water, and also transportation issues where they are lack in the reliable transportation infrastructure can make it difficult for students to reach schools, and long distance poor road conditions and occasional flooding that can further exacerbate these challenges. And also school facilities, they have to build quality schools in remote areas might suffer because of from poor building conditions such as uh, the dilapidated classrooms and inadequate sanitation facilities. And also, lastly, the technology and resources. So many schools in Sabah and Sarawak may lack modern educational technology and resources, such as computers, internet access, and also the multimedia tools, which are very increasingly vital for effective learning. And the government should have their own initiative to build and upgrade their schools. So they need to develop more infrastructure projects because the government has undertaken various projects to build and upgrade schools in undeserved areas such as the cities. The cities are too populated. We have so many schools in the cities, but these people that in Sabah and Sarawak should have the more development projects on the schools. All right. And lastly is the curriculum and teaching materials. Sabah and Sarawak need to be tailored on the curriculum and teaching materials, and also they need to have the professional development for the teachers in Sabah and Sarawak, so they will benefit from the targeted professional programs to enhance skills and adapt to the local educational context. Alright, so that is all for my reflection. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Aiman Daniel bin Muhammad Halimi. My matrix ID is 012023070201. Before I start, I want to introduce my part. Government around the world strive to promote equality in education to ensure that all students, regardless of their background, have access to quality learning opportunity. These efforts are crucial for fostering social equality and economic mobility. So, for the effort, government is legislation and policies. Universal access laws, many countries have enacted laws guaranteeing free and compulsory education for children up to a certain age. For example, the elementary and secondary education in the US aim to provide equal access to education and address disparities tailored to their needs. Second, funding and resource allocation. Equitability funding. Government often use funding formula that allocate more resources to underfunded and disadvantaged schools. This aims to bridge the gap between wealthy and poor districts. Third, support program. Early childhood education. Initiatives like Head Start in the US focus on providing early education to children from low-income families to prepare them for school. Fourth, teacher training and development. Professional development, investing in teacher training, ensure educated and equipped to address diverse student needs and adapt to varying educational environment. And then lastly, community and parental involvement. Engagement program, encouraging community and parental involvement in education, foster a supportive learning environment and help address the unique needs of students. The conclusion is, government effort to promote educational equality and multi-phase aim to address various barriers to access the quality. While significant progress have been made, continued focus on equitability funding, effective policies, and community support is essential for ensuring that every student has opportunity to succeed.
Thank you, Fasha, for your part. Okay, now I'll be introduced for my part. Okay, hi, my name is Nur Shuhada. I'll be talking about the effort for the other stockholders in education. Okay, firstly, I'm just gonna brief you guys about who is stockholders in education. Okay, stockholders in education are the people who are people with the personals in the systems. They are directly participating in education purpose or whoever who affecting it. Okay, for what are the purpose for the stockholders? Stockholder aim to ensure that the students receive the max quality in educations using instructions to prepare student for life. Like I will brief for much more for theirs about that. Okay, so there's these two main types of stockholders in educations. The first one is internals and the next one is externals. Okay, for the internal parts, we have around 6 main who are in those under the internals. Sorry. Okay, for the first one is we have students. Students are the primary stockholders, which is whatever affecting the education lines will affect them first. They're the one who are going to go through the effect, such as just now Fasha said that in Sabah Sarawak we have the problem for students to go to their schools and having minimals what it calls support systems from every side. So the second one in internals is the parents involvement. Okay, parents are the key for the stockholders because parents are the most closest to the students where they give the moral support and where it's actually started this supporting itself. Okay, for the next, we have support staff, which is cleaners, kitchen staff, office staff, and so others. Okay, actually, for the internal stockholders, it's actually someone who are involved or working in the education institutions, such as just now I said, which is students, parents, teachers, support staff, school boards. We have what else? School administrations, and for students, I just briefly now. And for school administrator, we have principal, assistant principals, and they also play huge roles in giving and providing the students to having the max what you call qualities in their educations. Okay, for the school board, we have the communities. If in schools in Malaysia, we have PTA, or what you also know as PIBG, Persatuan Ibu Bapa Guru, or in the English one we call Parents Teacher Associations. Okay. It's also played a huge role for improving the education lines, because whatever happens in schools is actually, it looks like parents and teachers to together, we bring all the education lines much more better. Okay, for the external one, we have fields also, which is for externals. External stockholders are those who not directly participating in the school systems daily, such as usually the external sites usually are the not the employees of the institutions, but at the same time they willingly to join the educations to participate, as for their personal interested, or they just want to make what they call the institution's success, so they want to participating in order to make it much more better. Okay, for the externals groups, we have local businesses, governments and local authorities. We have education policy makers. We also have voters. We have taxpayers. We have the community. We have the unions and university. For these externals, actually plays a huge role, because as for the rural area, we actually need a much more huge community in order to provide a max success, in order to improve this educations, or what we call issues in the rural area, like in the Sabah Sarawak sites. We also have, as for the communities and so on, in order to providing those education issues, we have some of the NGOs line who really need to participate in order to create the success, such as if I'm not mistaken, we have Budimas. We also have Save the Children's. We also have UNICEF, and we have the Teachers for Malaysia. This is actually the group's charity for the educations in Malaysia, which is as in Budimas also. We actually have one of our friends is actually from Budimas. As you know, if I'm not mistaken, Vasan is from. He had the charity to provide him much more better what they call educations punya ni. So it's actually these groups play a huge role in order to provide a better futures, a better life for the students. As for, if I'm not mistaken, I already did some readings. It's as for the Sabah and Sarawak, the minister already starting creating the funding funding in Sabah, what they call Borneo education systems. That one is to provide for the to the, like what they call the higher grades students, or who aims for like university, much more further studies. This is the line. The systems of the Borneo education system will provide for them to further their studies in much more better what you call they got the better chances. Yeah, that is for my parts. I will pass for my next friend side. As for me, I personally thought the huge communities plays a very huge roles in order to create a better education effects and efforts. It's actually take a huge everyone's roles, not just for the student itself. The student itself need a much more supports, as in what Vision said, that lots of amongst the rural students are mostly intelligent and very good students with a higher IQ. So we should give them a better chance, a better life in the future. So as we, for the communities, we need to give our supports in any ways that we can, as for the rural area. Okay, so next I pass to Said.
My name is Saidul Fazli. So for the conclusions, educational opportunity for unprivileged students in Malaysia face a significant the challenge. So, but they also have ongoing effort to improve their access and equity. Barriers such as socioeconomic status, geographic locations, and lack a lack of resources uh, that give this student from achieving their full potential and performance. So, however, initiated by government suggestions, non-government organization is NGO, and the community program is aimed to provide scholarship, mentorship, and additional support. So to enhance this educational opportunities, is crucial to continue investing in infrastructure, teachers, and training in and inclusive policies that address the specific needs on unprivileged students, that can take collaboration among various of governments, stakeholders, and private sector and civil society. It can help to create a more supportive environment resources for the student. So, moreover, ensuring that every child has access to quality of education is essential for our social mobility and contribute Malaysia to overall development. So by prioritize these strategies, Malaysia can work towards a more equality education system that empower all students, regardless of their background, their families, to achieve their full potential and performance. Okay, that's all for our group. Thank you. For my POV is in education in Malaysia should increase their funding and resources for allocating more functional resource to fund school resources and equipments to getting a better view of education in Malaysia, especially in Sabah and Sarawak, and also in Albopo in the city. So the scholarship program that we know as Mara, Budimas, Subtet, and then to help their financial burden or their family, and the NGO also can take responsible to help them for a better view of education. That's from for me. Thank you.